We are definitely in a post-antibiotic era. It's getting worse and worse. We must scramble to identify new methods of killing bacteria. We're here to fish for phage out of the East River. Bacteriophage are a new frontier. We've been looking for at least 10 years now to find new alternatives to antibiotics, and there are not too many. It's very difficult to kill bacteria and not kill you. So this is the cover of Nature when it was one of the first papers that we published on phage. And in this case, we were killing anthrax. Got the most publicity of any publication this university has ever received. That was a fantastic day. I'm Dr. Vincent Fischetti. I'm a professor at Rockefeller University and head of the Laboratory of Bacterial Pathogenesis and Immunology. We've been using antibiotics for about 100 years. And during that time, the bacteria have learned to become resistant to those antibiotics.
Drug-resistant bacteria are one of the most serious public health issues that we face today.
We're losing the ability to treat infections.
It's pretty serious. I mean, there are bugs right now that are resistant to all antibiotics. If you're infected by one of these organisms, you just hope that your body is able to control the infection. If it isn't, you die.
By the year 2050, which is not so far away, we will have more people die from antibiotic-resistant infections than die currently from cancer.
Well, what's happened over the years is actually the overuse of antibiotics. So one of the new weapons that people are using are whole phage. There are 10 to 100 million phage in every gram of soil, every cc of water. There are more phage on Earth than any other biological entity. Phage control the biosphere. They control us. They control the environment because they're controlling the bacteria that are in the environment. The phage infects the bacteria, injects its DNA in the bacteria. That DNA produces more phage. The bacteria explode, releasing the phage progeny, and those phage can now infect other bacteria. Phage are the original antibiotic in a sense. Before antibiotics were developed, we started using phage as a way to control bacterial infections. Just at the same time antibiotics were discovered, then we shifted to antibiotic development as opposed to phage development. Phages are in vogue right now because we're seeing these resistant issues. So we're going back to our roots. The Eastern European countries, over these years, they're the one area in the world that have kept phage therapy alive.
Je m'appelle Marc Guillonneau, j'ai 17 ans. La peau qui se refait tous les jours, la couleur rouge et d'autres petits symptômes, gros ou petits symptômes partout. Ça fait mal, souvent. C'est la maladie du syndrome d'Enneterten. Ça fait depuis ma naissance que j'ai ça. Oh oui, on en a essayé plein. Il y a eu beaucoup d'antibiotiques. Je ne sais pas combien on en a eu d'ailleurs. Il y en a tellement, mais donc j'ai arrêté à force de les compter, parce que j'en avais eu beaucoup. Les antibiotiques ont marché pendant un certain temps, à peu près 1 mois, et après, le corps était devenu résistant, donc on a repris un autre antibiotique, et ça faisait la même chose, donc à force, ça ne marchait plus, en fait.
Mark came to us from France with a very rare genetic disorder, which is Netherton syndrome. He had a lot of episodes, just sepsis, when the infection goes to blood, and time by time he was taken to the hospital to treat with antibiotics. And when you have antibiotic resistance, you cannot help him. He could die. He came here to find the last chance to be treated. By help of the phage preparations, he has not had any episode of sepsis.
Dans l'ensemble, les phages, c'est positif parce que je vais mieux et donc ça améliore le corps, la santé. La peau, des fois, elle pèle moins et la couleur de la peau qui est plus blanche qu'avant. Enfin, qui se rapproche plus à une peau normale, entre guillemets.
Mark is just only one. We have dozens of the patients with very good results. We have a lot of patients from the European Union, from the New Zealand until to Canada or the US. Even we had patients from China, so they are coming here because bacteriophage therapy is not approved anywhere except the former Soviet Union. Since 1923, we are using the phages almost 90 years already. So it's somehow, for the Western world, it's a forgotten cure. This phage is just part of the Liava collection. It's so many different kinds of bacteriophages. For example, this is just very small part of those, and this is phages against E. coli, against Pseudomonas aeruginosa, so this is good viruses that can be used for treatment. We have also phages here, also like this, a lot. It's also here. We have one of the biggest collection of the phages in the world. So this test allows us to select active phage that can be used for treatment. So these are bacteria on the Petri dish, and when we have the transparent zones, it means that it works. It kills, it eats this bacteria. This is MRSA. It's a very nasty bacteria causing a lot of complications, and the virus, this good virus, kills it. Phages have very specific, very important role. I hope the Western countries also are ready to develop this forgotten cure for the future.
So we're at the New Haven water treatment facility here. We are going to try and collect some bacteriophages where we can hopefully find something that can treat horrible antibiotic-resistant infections. My name is Ben Chan. I'm an associate research scientist at Yale University. I travel a bit to the field to collect sewage samples. And in order to get phages, you have to go where the bacteria are. Phages use different receptors, and they have different biology. And every phage you pull from the environment is going to be new to science. So you want to get different phages so that we can add it to our library, so that if the need arises for this phage, we have it. Superbugs are real, definitely real. A lot of people have the view that it is just hype or sensation because they don't have an infection. But chemical antibiotics are losing their edge so that you can go from being perfectly healthy to near death in a very short amount of time, and it's pretty scary. I get contacted fairly frequently by people with drug-resistant infections. If you are sick, that no therapeutics are working for you, the physician can apply to the FDA for like an emergency use of bacteriophages. There was a case in San Diego that was successfully treated. He was in a coma. He was in really rough shape, but they got a bacteriophage cocktail. If you take 6 different bacteriophages and you put them in a single cocktail, it's very unlikely that resistance will evolve to that cocktail. And so they injected him, and now he's great. His wife sent me an email. He's basically getting back to his life before the infection.
Donc les phages ne sont pas très connus, à part en Géorgie. Dans la plupart du monde, il y a une dépendance aux antibiotiques. En fait, c'est ce qui est le plus près de chez nous, en fait. Il y en a qui veulent essayer d'autres choses, il y en a qui veulent pas, donc ça dépend de la personne. Il faut continuer les phages tant que ça marche. Voilà. Bon.
This is a very effective alternative that works on the millions and millions of people. So the Western world should consider our experience, our results, and I think in the nearest future, different countries in the West will consider the possibility of phage application against antibiotic-resistant bacterial infections.